Hello, everyone, and welcome to our ECPI Business Alumni Panel. Thanks for everyone for taking the time out of their day to join us. I hope that all of the current business students get a lot of insight out of this and maybe a small glimpse into what the future could look like for them when they graduate. And what better people to hear it from than people who were once in their shoes at one point. We have three great graduates joining us today to share their insights, and a huge thank you to all three of our panelists for taking time out of their day to participate in this panel and give back to their university. So I'll let you guys know a little bit about how this is going to be run. I will be asking each panelist a series of questions about their career and about their experiences at ECPI. If you have any questions for any of the panelists, please write it in the chat. And then we will go ahead and after all three are done, we will go ahead and answer questions at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with Janelle. So Dr. Janelle Nihas is up first. Janelle graduated from ECPI in 2018 with her master's in business administration. So Janelle, could you please say hello and tell us about your current role and where you work?
Hi everybody. I hope everybody is doing great today. I'm currently an IT business systems analyst at Advancing Native Missions, which is a nonprofit located in Afton, Virginia.
Awesome.
And I'm not sure if you want me to expound upon what I do.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and ask you more questions and we can elaborate and kind of talk through your role. So how long have you been working there?
I've been here for about a year. I started back in June of 2021.
Awesome. So take us through kind of a day in your life. Like you get to the office and what are some of the specific tasks that you have?
So I am the primary person when it comes to IT systems training. If there's a problem with one of our systems, I'm the point of contact. I run organization reports on metrics, how we're doing internally, how we're communicating with our donors. I also help implement new systems, such as the one I just did, which is a donor portal service. I also evaluate our current systems to see if they need to be replaced, how we're using them, what is the performance on them, and the basically the feedback we're getting from our coworkers. And I also help with strategic planning. Like we're currently we're in our 3-year strategic plan, and I help to see, like, are we getting more donors? Are we getting less donors? How are our metrics relating to our plan?
Awesome, thank you. So let's go back to before you enrolled at ECPI for your master's degree. What made you or what motivated you to make that decision?
My motivation was to be competitive in when looking for a job. And in order to do that nowadays, you have to have some sort of a degree or experience. And at the time, I was a stay-at-home mom, so I didn't have any experience. So I went ahead and I enrolled myself into school.
Awesome. So let's talk about when you graduated from the MBA program. Have you had this role ever since, or what's kind of your career path since you graduated?
Since I've graduated from the MBA program, I did look into getting a job, but the market just wasn't right, and I ended up having another child. So at the time, wasn't right for me either. So what I did is I enrolled in a program at Liberty University for a Doctor of Business Administration, which married my 2 degrees. I have my bachelor's from ECPI in healthcare administration and my master's with business administration. And this degree, the doctorate degree, was for business and healthcare. So I was just like, oh, I'm just going to do that. And about 2 years into that, I get a phone call, an interview for Advancing Native Missions. saying, hey, you didn't get this role, but we have this role for you. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take that one.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, congratulations on your doctorate as well. I know it's a huge accomplishment, so
Thank you so
congratulations.
much.
Yeah. So you got the call that they had this role, but you originally applied for a different role. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have certifications. I have a certification in Tableau, and they
Okay.
saw that I had certifications in systems that were similar to what they were using. And the role I applied for was for project management. And they were like, oh, we already have somebody for that role. We'll just put you in this role. And I ended up doing both project management and IT and rolled in one. So,
Wow, that's funny how that works sometimes. So what is your advice to anyone who is searching for a job? Do you have any like career searching advice or interviewing advice, things like that?
yes, I would say to start developing your network now. It's mostly about who you know. And that's how you're going to get a job. You only get so far with, putting out hundreds of applications and getting like one or two interviews back. You have to pretty much know somebody and attend a get hired workshop. It really helped me to understand how companies work and who they look for when it comes to job searching, and how somebody's referral can mean a lot.
Awesome, that's great advice. Um, so do you have any advice for anyone who is currently in the MBA program at ECPI and how to excel here?
Yes. Stay determined, stay focused, be consistent. As long as you're those three things, you will succeed. I mean, when I first started my MBA program, I was like, oh, I'm not smart enough to do this, or I'm going to fail. I'm going to do this. All those negative thoughts popped into my head. But I was determined, consistent, and I was like, I'm going to get this degree. I did the work. You put in the time and effort, it's going to pay off. And
Great.
also communicate with your professors. They're there to help. Um, I know a lot of people don't like to talk to professors, but they are there for you if you have any questions.
Awesome. So I didn't put this in your questions that I might ask, but just something for you to relay to these students. There's probably a lot of bachelor's in business administration students in this panel. We're watching this. And they might be considering getting their master's in business as well. Do you have anything like the benefits of getting an MBA or why they should go for that?
Yes, for an MBA, you want to stay competitive, and when you're searching for a job, or if you're looking for a promotion. And in the world we live in right now, a lot of people have bachelors. Um, so it's better to stay competitive and get the master's if you can do it financially, and I would say have the flexibility to do the online work. Now with my master's, I did it. I set aside one day at out of the week to do my work, and that's all I needed. And if you're going to do a doctorate, it's way more work. But for a master's, it's only one day out of the week. That's all you really need. So
Awesome.
it's doable.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Great advice, great insight into your career as well. If anyone has any questions for Janelle, please put them in the chat and we will get to them at the end. Just make sure you say who the question is for as well so that we know. And we will answer them at the end. So thank you. Well, up next, we have Mr. Corey Williams, who is a 2022 Business Administration graduate of ECPI University. He had a concentration in business management. So Corey, I will open the floor to you to say hello and tell us about your current role and where you work.
All right. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, as Sarah mentioned, my name is Corey Williams. My position that I am working right now is a business planning analyst for Huntington Ingalls Industries. Let's see here. I'm actually right here in Newport News, and with this role, I am working remotely.
That's great. So how long have you been in this role? I know it's fairly new.
Yes, I actually just assumed this role July 3rd. Previous to that, I was working as an instructional system designer or ISD for TTI Global. From there, I was working a lot of contracts for Huntington Ingalls, also General Dynamics Electric Boat. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Congratulations
what I
on the
did
new
there is make a
role.
lot of their training products, such as lesson plans, training guides, facilitator guides, things of that nature.
Yeah, so I know it's fairly new to you. Congratulations, you're a month in. But can you walk us through like a day in your life? You get on the computer. What are some of the tasks that you have?
Yes, first things first, I start with reviewing my emails, anything that may have come out, late in the day after signing off, or anything that may have come through early in the morning. And just making sure that I kind of, that is my time in the morning to make my strategy for the day of what needs to be accomplished. From there, I work a lot in Excel. So a lot of that consists of pulling different data from different sources and making sure that it aligns with the information that we have in our management system.
Thank you. So let's go back to before you enrolled in the bachelor's program here at ECPI University. What motivated you to come to school?
Uh, wow, there were quite a few motivators, but the main thing is I wanted to do more in any role that I was in. I am a Navy veteran, so once I left the military, it was all about finding my place of you know where can I best utilize the skills that I have from the military. So there are a lot of jobs that I did work that weren't actually what I was passionate about. It was not until I was given an opportunity to basically show what I can do as an ID, an instructional designer, and everything was going very well. Um, what set me apart and what invited me into that position was I had years of experience in training and development, being actually hands-on with a lot of the training that is conducted for the military, and being able to do it for in a corporate setting. So once that I was, afforded that opportunity, things were going well. And as many of us all know, COVID happened. So it kind of put me into a crossroads. Well, I'm not able to, showcase my skills with everything being so locked up. So what can I do? And one of the adages that I had in that role was, sharpen the blade, sharpen the blade. We making sure that, what we are delivering to the client, that it actually looks good. And, the effort was put into it, making sure that uh, the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So all this time that I had this adage of, saying, sharpen the blade, it was going to be this time where I didn't have anything to sharpen my blade with. And that's kind of when I had that epiphany, like I need to do something that would, in fact, sharpen this blade. What can I do? And being competitive, as my cohort said, I needed something that would help me. And many a times I've heard that, oh, if you had your degree, you would be in a whole nother pay bracket and things like that. So, being a father and just being motivated and just wanting more, those are the things that made me kind of take that plunge. I'm not sure if anyone that's watching can relate, but it can be kind of a daunting task
Mhm.
to re-enroll in school. After, so many years of being out. But, from my experience, I could think of, a lot of other scarier things that I've been involved with that, school, it should be no problem. So, with that in mind, that was the battery that I needed to continue on. And once I got into school and my very first time, I made Dean's List. So it was like, oh yes, nice. Now I had that reward. So that kind of fueled me more like, okay, well now I want to see if I can hold down Dean's List for an entire year and just making more goals for yourself or myself.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And thank you for your service in the military as well.
Yes.
Why did you choose ECPI for school when you were looking at schools?
ECPI has always had a reputation of producing quality candidates when it comes to the workforce. So just with that in mind, and I believe even at the moment when I made the decision, a commercial had come on, and it was like one of those moments like I could probably be that guy. So once I kind of slept on it and thought it through, I made a call, and it's been really, really rewarding. I cannot make it up.
Yeah, you never know. You might be that guy for someone right now too. So
Yes.
very cool. So we kind of talked about your career path since graduation and the different roles that you held. Do you have any interviewing tips or job searching tips for anyone?
Yes. Interviewing tips. My best thing to always give your interviewers, ask them questions. They love when you ask questions. After you go through the interview process and they bombard you with, whatever questions and scenarios, I feel that it's only right that you ask a couple of questions to them. I will prepare anywhere from as many or as little as 3 and no more than 5. That way, your interviewers can kind of get their gears turning. One question I do like to ask, the last question to present to them, and it kind of puts them on the spot. And I love this one. It is, do you think I would be a good fit for your company? And once they give you that response, it'll kind of, give you a feel, or they may even let you know, like right then, like, I like you. I think you would be a great fit for this role. And yeah, definitely ask questions to your interviewers. As far as job searching tips, I would start early. Start as early as you can in your process. I would include your projected graduation date. So when your resume is being reviewed, that they see that information on there. They love new graduates, anyone that's fresh out. Reason being because you've spent whatever amount of time committed to learning. They know that you can learn, so you're going to go into this role, and in some situations they may actually teach you. So knowing that you can take in new information is going to be a plus for you. So yes, definitely start early. If you have not, try to obtain as many related certifications as you can. That is another thing that's going to help set you apart. Just having those certifications, saying that you have, again, you take that extra step and to setting yourself apart.
Do you recommend any specific certifications, like for someone who's looking for a role similar to yours?
Absolutely. CAPM, the Certified Associate in Project Management, is an excellent one to have. It is quite intensive. If you can get to it along with your studies, but that is an excellent one to have. Some of the certifications that I have that kind of helped me set apart were there's a basic project management certification. It's just called simply project management, and business analyst that also helped, and the Lean Six Sigma green belts. Those combination of those three, it definitely helped drive the point home. So For my business guys and gals, yes, try those 3.
Awesome, thank you. So last question, do you have any advice for current students in the bachelor's in business program at ECPI?
Yes, advice would be to stay the course. There are so many different things that are, just going on when it comes to life, that are going to happen. If you have, little ones, family, friends, they're going to want to do things, it's the summer, they're going to want to hang outside and do this and that. But, there are going to be, many times where, you have homework. And one of my professors, was he may actually be on this call, but that's one of the ones that I had to work with a lot. Just being in contact with your professors when you have things that are going on. But again, it's all on you. Like, you have to stay that course and make sure that you achieve the result that you're actually seeking. So, you can't put in 50% and you're expecting a return of 110. You have to give it 100%. There are going to be days when you don't feel like it, but that's where that focus comes back. Like, well, what am I doing this for? What is the end goal? What do I want to achieve? And just kind of keeping that in the back of your mind at all times. And when it comes to doing those assignments and making those deadlines, it is all going to pay off. And I can wholeheartedly say that as, excuse me, I'm sorry. Somebody that's had struggles, it's going to happen. So just, you have to keep at it, keep that same tenacity, and
Awesome.
it'll pay off.
Thanks so much, Corey. I appreciate it. It's great advice.
Right.
Great
Very
insight
well.
into your career and certification. So thanks so much.
Can I add something onto what Corey was saying about
Absolutely.
certifications?
Yeah.
If you are a veteran or active duty or spouse, you can actually get one certification for free. I got my CAPM for free. And from Onward to Opportunity. That's the site you need to go on. You can sign up.
Yes, they are wonderful. I've worked with them as well.
Thank you for that. Awesome. So next we have Awilda Granger. Thank you so much for joining us. Awilda, I will open the floor to you to introduce yourself and to explain your current role and where you work.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I currently am an accounting tech at the Finance Center for the U.S. Coast Guard. I started there this past April. So currently my duties include learning. I'm just learning the system and learning the processes. So that's currently what I'm doing at this time.
Awesome. So let's go back to before you enrolled in your bachelor's program at ECPI. What made you want to come to school?
I also, like Corey, am a Navy vet. The reason I joined the Navy was to get a college education. That's one of the benefits of being a military veteran, is they help you get a college education. I procrastinated and also had some life things, marriage, children, grandchildren. I'm a late student. I'm an older student. I found I was in a career that I wasn't quite happy with. I worked for a law firm and I wanted something different. So I went for a business degree with a concentration in accounting. And so I chose ECPI because I knew it could get me there with a good education in the fastest time.
Why accounting?
I was able to work with the accounting department at the law firm and found that I really like numbers. After working in the legal field for close to 40 years, 4 decades. So this is, I call it my third career. I'm starting over. And I feel very fortunate that I'm on the ground floor a third time.
Yeah. What's your advice to maybe students who have a similar story as you, starting a little bit later, and what's your advice to them?
Just do it. Just do it. If you're not happy with what you're doing, and I don't say just go in and tell your boss that you're going to quit. Make sure that you're stable, that you're able to do this. Make sure you talk to your spouse or partner that this is going to be okay. But if you're not happy, make the change. And I will say, I'm also, our youngest son saw me and I kept telling him he needs to do this because he wasn't happy doing what he was doing. My last class was July of 2020. His first class was August of 2020. So he finally took the advice. We did go together. That would have been really cool, but he did finally take the advice. And I would say do it sooner than later.
Thank you for that. So we kind of talked a little bit about your career path, but do you have any advice? Like, how did you land your current role? Like, do you have any advice on interviewing or resume writing or anything like that?
I would say just keep going for what you want. I did have some family issues that I had to, we had COVID happen since graduation, and then I had some family issues. Also, there was a hiring freeze. I wanted to work with the Coast Guard. I had the opportunity when I was in the Navy to work with them, and I wanted to work with them again. And there was a hiring freeze. So, but just if you want something, be persistent and go for it. That's my best advice, is just to go for it.
Thank you for that. So in your current role, you're an accountant. So what are some of the tasks that you would have for the Coast Guard?
And at this point, again, I'm on the ground floor. We create invoices for travelers who have gone on travel who haven't submitted their travel claim yet. So that's basically all we do.
Okay, awesome. What's maybe some different advice for students that are in the program, like program specific, some points of advice that would help them be successful?
So for students, and I would say this for any student, do your best. Your grades really do matter. That actually matters. I just saw someone not get a promotion that they wanted because of their grade point average. So that is something you really need to be paying attention to. Do the courses and do the best that you can. And it was like Corey, as he was speaking, I was nodding my head because it was everything he said was it is exactly right. You just need to stay the course. It is summertime. You want to go out. You want to be in the pool. You want to go out with your friends. You got to do your homework. You got to study for your exams. It's not going to be forever, and the rewards are really, really worth it.
Thank you so much. Well, then I actually have met each other a few times in person because she's come to the last two alumni reunions that we've held at the Virginia Beach campus. We're starting to expand those to other campuses. So if anyone's watching and they're thinking, oh, I want to go to alumni reunion at some point, that's our goal. So, and Awilda and her friends from her business program have made it kind of a tradition for them to come back on campus and catch up with each other. So I think that's awesome.
We do enjoy getting together.
Hi, Nicole, we can hear you.
Hi, this is Nicole Copen. I am the Dean of the College of Business at ECPI. So to say that I'm like I am a mom of two, but to say that I am proud of each and every one of you is an understatement. So congratulations to each of you and your accomplishments. And it sounds like for each of you, this is just the beginning, which makes me even more excited. For those of you who are listening, not only are they examples, and you can look at them and say, I can do this too, but I did want to mention that Janelle and Corey both talked about the CAP-M the CAPM is embedded in our project management class. So it is so important, in fact, that we've embedded it into the class, and that course was recently just revised because the CAPM test was revised, and we aligned it to that specific exam. So I'm so happy to hear that those certifications are propelling you forward and doing what they need to do. It sounds like, Corey, you took advantage of all of the certifications that we have, which makes me so happy to hear. And that's why we have them. And ECPI is the only institution that I've worked at who actually, we subsidize the cost of those for you. So they are not as expensive. And it sounds like there's even a way to get some of those at no cost if you're a veteran, which is fantastic. But I do have another meeting to run to, unfortunately. But thank you, Sarah, for letting me say something. And high fives to each of you. Keep up the good work. And if anybody needs anything, always, as an alumni, feel free to reach out. I have been a reference for many of our alumni. If I see them in like an MBA class, sometimes I teach in the MSM or the MBA. So if you ever need anything or need a letter from your, the school that you went to, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thanks so much, Nicole. I appreciate it. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap up. I actually have Mr. Rajan on here, who was some of your instructors. So I'll let him have the last word here.
Well, thank you so much for this great opportunity. And I just want to, because I saw that I have been part of your journey with Willie and with Corey, not with Janelle, unfortunately, I'm sorry about that. But as I heard about Ernesto as well talking, just wanted to, say congratulations. And also there are a couple of things that stands out from most of you, or with regard to most of you. And number one was, all of you decided, because I know kind of your life and journey over those 2 years. So one of the things that I have seen is, number one, is all of you decided to stay above the average. The class setting, it could have been that, you could have chosen to, okay, let me just do something just for the sake of it. You decide, I know for Willie and for Corey, and now with what Ernesto does as well, the decision to stay above the average, and you sought out with regard to excellence. And that has continued to help you with your career, number one. Number two, the development of soft skills. You continue to work on your other life. Of course, Corey talked about certification, Janelle did. Willie took the certifications too. And the thing is, so what I'm trying to say is the desire to go beyond. And that kind of helped you, the development of soft skills. At times, Corey's life, I have huge respect for you. Some of the examples that you shared about your personal life, I know that, but Corey is, you worked really hard. And that is, the reason where you are right now. And this is not the end. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And you all are very special for all of us. And I was telling Sarah, and I think I emailed her, Corey is an example. You persevered. That's the word that I can think of. You persevered through all the challenges, but today where you are, I'm proud of that, but that's not the end. So I wish you all the best. Janelle, you have a great mind. You decide to go beyond the master's and with the doctorate as well. Congratulations. Go all the way. Go all the way and keep continuing to inspire our students. And we thank you for your time. All right.
Thank you very much. And it's because of Rajan that I have Willie on here. So thank you so much for your own contribution to the panel too. So I appreciate it. Awesome. Well, this has been a great panel. I hope that everyone is feeling inspired to continue on with their degree and continue to move past what's expected of you and go above and beyond in your career. I'm feeling really good about this panel, and I'm hoping that a lot of people got a lot out of this. I even did, so thank you so much. Our next panel is going to be on healthcare administration, so be on the lookout for that if you want to have any insight into that as well. But thank you so much, Awilda, Janelle, and Corey. Your time means a lot to me and to all the students.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.